Hi, I'm Victoria. Today I wanted to talk about all of the books that are coming out in October that I am excited for. I have 10 that I want to talk about, but one of them is kind of more of an honorable mention. You'll see what I mean. But getting right into it, I have 3 that are coming out October 3rd. The first one is Curious Tides by Pascal Lascelles, I think. It's about this girl named Emery, and she is studying healing magic at this magic school. It's called the Aldrin College for Lunar Magics. But after something goes down at some sea caves that she and some classmates were at, a group of the girls, they end up having drowned, and she discovers that she actually has a new, darker type of magic. So she goes to this boy named Baz to help her learn how to control these new abilities that she's discovered. And then something even weirder happens. The girls who she thought had drowned are now washing up on shore alive, and one by one they are dying these horrible magical deaths. So not only is she trying to learn how to control these new abilities, but she's also having to uncover this mystery of what actually is happening with her classmates. And from the sound of things, there might be some cult stuff going on, and I always find that stuff cool. The second one coming out October 3rd is After the Forest by Kel Woods. This is a Hansel and Gretel inspired story, but rather than Hansel and Gretel, they go by Hans and Greta. And this takes place after all of the events that we know from the fairy tale, and they are now grown and they are struggling really hard. Can I help you? Well, when all of that happened, from the fairy tale, when they were children, Greta took the witch's grimoire. I don't know why exactly, but she's just kind of had it, and now it is calling to her and is kind of offering her solutions, I guess you could say. And there are food recipes in this grimoire. So she starts making these recipes and selling them as a way to keep her little family afloat. And then it says, and now dark magic is returning to the woods, and Greta's magic she is still trying to understand, may be the only thing that can save her if it doesn't kill her first. I love fairy tale retellings, especially when it's in a new direction, how this is them older, in the future after the story that we're used to, rather than just a new way to tell the story that we already know. I like when it's a expansion, I guess would be the word. I find that really interesting, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The third one for October 3rd is The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanson. So the nation that this takes place in is under siege by what is called the Night Empire, and the name for the battles and war of this overtaking is called the Hurricane Wars. One of our main characters is a girl named Taliesin, and she grew up as an orphan, but has found a new family in the people that are fighting for their freedom. The other main character is Prince Alaric, and he is Prince of the Night Empire, so obviously they're on opposing sides. And he's responsible for eliminating threats to the Empire and also their night magic. Well, Taliesin has been keeping this secret, where she actually has this light magic that is a really big threat to night magic. This had a history before of causing them great harm and everything. So she's been keeping it a secret until her and Prince Alaric come head to head in a battle. And so they are in battle and discover that their magic up against each other actually creates this new type of magic that they hadn't seen before. But more than just the battle between their peoples, it seems like an even greater danger is coming. So they might need each other and this new magic that they've created together in order to stand up against it. So it's kind of sounds like enemies to lovers, but for sure they're gonna, it sounds end up at least working together to overcome this mysterious new enemy. And it has kind of a slightly cheesy tagline at the end that I actually kind of like, but it says, Taliesin and Alaric must decide. Are they fated to join hands or destroy each other? The next 3 that I'm gonna talk about come out on October 10th. The first of those is called The Puppets of Spelhorst by Kate DiCamillo. And this is a middle grade story. but it looked really cute, so I had to talk about it. It's about these 5 puppets, a king, a wolf, a boy, a girl, and an owl. But they've just been in a trunk in the dark with each other for, seems like, a long time. And they just provide company and bicker and console and are just family, it sounds like. And they all have like their own individual dreams, but they just know that they are a part of this like bigger story that they haven't discovered yet. And then they end up on the mantle of the home of 2 little girls. And it says, "The truth is more astonishing than any of them could have imagined." So I think this is gonna be really, really cute. This is the author that did, I don't remember the full title of it, but something Despero or something. It's like the book with the mouse with the sword on the cover. I do plan to read that too at some point. But so she's a pretty well-known author, and the reviews seem to be pretty good from the little bit that I saw. So I'm excited for this one. My cat does not believe that I'm the only one home right now, and so he's like freaking out, thinking that people are outside where he can't get to them. This next one I'm actually really excited about. It's called A Stroke of the Pen, and it's by Terry Pratchett. This is gonna be a collection of 20 short stories, and they're ones that he wrote under pen names when he was submitting short stories to newspapers in like the 70s and 80s. But I haven't read any Terry Pratchett books yet, and I've been really wanting to. So maybe like getting to read a variety of like short stories of his could give me a good gauge to see if I'll like his stuff. One reason why I haven't gotten to them yet, even though I really want to, is because it's like I only really see his books in mass market paperback, and I can't stand those. So, side note, if any of you guys know where I can find his books in a normal sized book form, let me know, because I will for sure at least try one of them that way. And I think these are supposed to be all short stories that like haven't really been seen before since he became an author. Like this is because this was like when he was first starting out as a writer, just doing for newspapers and everything. So I think that's pretty cool. So the third one for October 10th is The Night Hunt by Alexandra Christo. And this is a YA fantasy romance about a girl named Adia, I think Atia, Adia. And she is actually a monster, like a type of monster that feeds on fear. And Silas is a boy who is something called a herald. Basically, he delivers messages and ferries the dead to the underworld. You're being very rude. And I guess this is supposed to be like a punishment for something that he did in his past, but he can't remember his past or even like who he is or anything. Well, Adia ends up breaking this like some sacred law, and now the gods are sending monsters out to hunt her down. So Silas makes a deal with her. He will help her avenge her family. I sound like the gods did something to them, and like take on the gods that are hunting her if she helps him break this curse that's on him and restore his humanity. I'm excited to check this one out, mainly because I feel like it's so rare where in these type of fantasy romances where one of the characters isn't human, to have the female be the one that's like the monster, you know? You don't really see that a lot, at least not in the ones that I've read. So I'm excited mainly just for the fact that it's doing something a little bit different than what I normally see. This next one comes out October 24th, and a lot of people are talking about it. It's A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. That is the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I think it's gonna be a trilogy, and I can't wait. I love that series so much. And obviously I can't say what the 3rd book's gonna be about without it kind of giving away some like old stuff. But if you haven't read Once Upon a Broken Heart, that is about this girl named Evangeline who just truly believes that like everybody can get their happily ever after and fairy tales are real, and it's just has an idealistic, I guess, view of things. But then the love of her life, her boyfriend, and her stepsister announced that they are engaged to each other. And she cannot believe this and really just truly thinks the only way he could do this to her is if he is under some type of curse. Someone is doing this to him. So she goes to the Prince of Hearts to stop his curse and stop the wedding, like to save him, you know? Well, in exchange for stopping the wedding, the Prince of Hearts has her promise him 3 kisses any time of his choosing, like however he decides to do things, like she has to agree to 3 kisses, which she does, and she quickly realizes that the Prince of Hearts is using her for his own schemes, but she doesn't know what. Yeah, I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart and its sequel, and I cannot wait for this book. The second one left on a big cliffhanger, so I am dying and so ready. But also on October 24th, this is my kind of honorable mention that I have. It's not a new book exactly that's coming out, but when I was looking on Amazon for like the upcoming releases and stuff, I discovered a new edition, like a new special edition of The Cruel Prince, and I think it looks really good and I am interested in it. I'm trying to decide between this new one that's coming out or the Litjoy editions, because the Litjoy special editions of The Cruel Prince, the Folk of the Air series, you know, it's the whole series, so maybe that would be the better way to go, but they both look really good. So I don't know. This is what the special edition looks like, and it looks so good. I would hope that if they're doing this, they're gonna do the whole series. That's the only thing that makes me a little nervous, is not knowing, like, is it really gonna end up releasing each one? But either way, I'm excited about it, and I also wanted to share it in case anyone else didn't know about this, because I hadn't heard anything about a special edition coming out. I just happened to see it when manually going through the new releases on Amazon. But the last one that I have to talk about is called Dark Moon, Shallow Sea by David R. Slayton. And this comes out October 31st. So this is our one Halloween release of the list. And this is about a guy named Rafe who really wants revenge on these knights who killed his goddess, the moon. And ever since she died, the night sky has darkened, the tides have stopped, and the shades of the dead don't have a path to the underworld anymore. Well, in order to get his revenge, Rafe breaks into the knight's temple, and he opens this box thinking it's gonna have like jewels or something in it. And instead he finds a man sleeping in there. His name is Kinos. So what does he do? He steals the man. So Rafe and Kinos, you know, as they are running away from the knights and everything, they start to grow closer, and Rafe also discovers a secret that may be like the key to bringing back his goddess. And it says, if they can't solve the mystery of Kinos' imprisonment, the moon will never rise again and the world will drown in ghosts. So it's gonna have some mystery and romance, and I really like when books kind of form an in-depth religion and stuff, and it sounds like there's at least a possibility of that. You can never tell with stories with like gods and everything if it's just going to be like naming a random god that they created, or if they're actually going to really go in depth into like the character's beliefs and stuff. But because of how centered this one is around the death of his goddess, I think it at least has the potential to have that, which to me is a lot of fun and really kind of helps create the world in my mind. So I'm really excited for that one. But yeah, so those are the 10, basically 9 books that I'm excited for that are coming out in October. If there are any more that I really need to know about, please let me know. I never really used to keep up with new releases and stuff, but ever since I started BookTube, and a little bit before, I've been trying to get more into that stuff, like watching what's coming out and everything. But typically, I find a lot of my books through the Libby app, so most of the time I'm just kind of scrolling and discovering things I don't recognize, so I don't know when those are coming out, you know, because the library could just be getting that book, but it could be years old, so I'm all over the place with what I read. But I figured since I'm, you know, doing BookTube videos, it is worth putting a little bit more intention into seeing what's coming out, what I'm missing, what I can look forward to and everything like that. And it's actually been a lot of fun. Even if I can't get to all of the books I'm excited about, like that are coming out soon, because there's quite a few. It's fun to kind of just add to my never-ending TBR and see what else is coming out, you know? But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye!